Hello, and welcome to another episode of Forerunner, Powering the Edge. I'm your host, and I'm thrilled to have you with us today. In this episode, we have a range of critical and fascinating topics lined up for you. We'll be diving into the world of high-resolution outage and flood modeling, exploring the assumptions about fragile utility infrastructure and their energy implications. We'll also tackle the tactical energy challenges that operators face daily and discuss the top priorities planners need to focus on. So sit back, relax, and let's get started with today's discussion. Let's talk about high-resolution outage and flood modeling. Imagine having a bird's-eye view of your utility infrastructure, where you can see every potential weak point in high definition. This is exactly what these new modeling techniques offer. By using sophisticated simulations, utilities can predict how different scenarios, like extreme weather events, might impact their systems. Now, how does this help utilities? Simply put, it allows them to be better prepared. They can identify vulnerabilities before they become critical issues, make data-driven decisions, and allocate resources more effectively. This level of foresight is invaluable for minimizing downtime and maintaining service reliability during emergencies. One of the eye-opening insights from these models is how they expose fragile assumptions in our current power and fuel infrastructure. For years, we've operated on a set of beliefs about how sturdy our systems are, but high-resolution modeling has shown us that these assumptions might not hold water in a flood, literally. Such models reveal weaknesses that were previously overlooked, which is crucial for bolstering our resilience against future disruptions. Now, let's shift our focus to something that often flies under the radar: the hidden or overlooked assumptions within our current fuel and power infrastructure. These assumptions are like the foundation of a building. If the foundation is weak, the entire structure is at risk. Over the years, many of us have taken for granted the robustness of our fuel and power networks, believing they are more resilient than they actually are. Take, for example, the assumption that our oil pipelines are invulnerable to extreme weather conditions. Many of these pipelines were built decades ago, following standards that may no longer be applicable in our current climate landscape. Hurricanes and floods have shown time and again that these infrastructures are far more vulnerable than previously thought. Remember Hurricane Harvey in Texas? The massive flooding exposed significant weaknesses in the power grid and fuel supply chain, leading to prolonged outages and fuel shortages. Another critical area is the reliability of our electric grid. The assumption that the grid can withstand peak demand during heat waves has been challenged multiple times in recent years. Look at the blackouts in California during the severe heat waves. People expect the lights to stay on and the air conditioning to keep running, but when infrastructure fails, the reality hits hard. These case studies highlight the urgent need for updating and reinforcing our infrastructure and, perhaps more importantly, reevaluating the assumptions we've long held. It's not just about fixing what's broken, but also about foreseeing what could go wrong in the future and proactively addressing those potential pitfalls. Only then can we hope to create a more resilient and reliable energy network that meets the demands of tomorrow. Backup power systems and grid resilience are supposed to be our safety nets during times of crisis. However, recent events have shown that these systems often fall short when we need them the most. Let's unpack why that is. First, we need to look at the design and maintenance of our backup power systems. Many of these systems were never intended to handle the scale and frequency of disruptions we're now experiencing. For instance, backup generators might work for a single home or building, but they can't support entire communities for extended periods. During prolonged outages, these generators often run out of fuel or fail due to lack of maintenance, leaving people without power at the worst possible times. Secondly, the issue of grid resilience comes into play. Our current grid infrastructure is aging and wasn't designed to cope with the extreme weather events we're increasingly facing. Take the recent winter storm in Texas, which led to widespread power outages. The grid simply couldn't handle the surge in demand coupled with the freezing conditions. This failure wasn't just a fluke. It exposed systemic issues within the grid's design and operational protocols. The repercussions of these shortcomings are severe. When the grid fails, it impacts not just electricity, but also water supply, heating, and even healthcare services. Hospitals, for instance, rely on uninterrupted power to operate life-saving equipment. When backup power fails, the consequences can be dire. These gaps in our energy stability highlight the urgent need for modernizing both our backup power systems and overall grid infrastructure. Without significant upgrades, we'll continue to face these vulnerabilities, leaving communities at risk during every major weather event or unexpected crisis. It's clear that to ensure a stable and resilient energy future, we must address these fundamental weaknesses. This means investing in new technologies, adopting more robust maintenance protocols, and designing systems with the flexibility and capacity to handle an array of challenging scenarios. Only then can we truly rely on our energy infrastructure to stand firm in the face of adversity. Now let's explore the fascinating crossover between disaster response and defense energy challenges. These two fields, though seemingly different, share common ground when it comes to tactical energy planning and resilience. In both scenarios, the ability to quickly adapt to unforeseen events is paramount. High-resolution models play a crucial role here, offering valuable insights for tactical energy planning. By simulating various disaster scenarios, these models help identify vulnerabilities and predict how different situations might impact energy infrastructure. For defense operations, this foresight is invaluable. It allows for the preemptive strengthening of facilities and systems, ensuring that critical missions can continue even under duress. Similarly, in disaster response, having accurate models means emergency teams can allocate resources more efficiently, potentially saving lives and minimizing damage. Whether it's a natural disaster or a defense scenario, the intersection of these fields underscores the importance of advanced modeling techniques in enhancing our overall resilience and preparedness. The key takeaways for grid operators, utility planners, and other stakeholders are clear. We need to improve our infrastructure's resilience and enhance our response capabilities. Top priorities should be upgrading aging systems to withstand extreme weather and installing robust backup power systems. Regular maintenance checks are essential to ensure these systems are reliable when emergencies strike. It's also crucial to reevaluate assumptions about our infrastructure's robustness. By leveraging advanced modeling techniques, we can identify hidden vulnerabilities and address them proactively. This proactive stance is critical for minimizing downtime and ensuring reliable service during crises. Taking these steps now will pave the way for a more resilient and dependable energy infrastructure in the future. That wraps up this episode of Forerunner, Powering the Edge. We covered some vital ground today, from high-resolution outage and flood modeling to the hidden weaknesses in our fuel and power infrastructure, and the critical role of tactical energy planning in both disaster response and defense scenarios. Remember, for any links or additional resources mentioned in today's episode, check the show notes. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is Forerunner, Powering the Edge, brought to you by the Forerunner Systems team. Until next time, stay resilient and stay informed.